It was 5 a.m. when the glass exploded. It didn't just shatter, it crashed like a bomb. In an instant, I was awake, every muscle in my body on alert. It wasn't Baghdad. It wasn't some foreign battlefield where bullets flew overhead. No, this was suburban Phoenix. And someone had just declared war on my driveway. I stumbled toward the window, peering through the blinds, and my heart nearly stopped. Vivian Blackwood, the president of our HOA, was in the middle of a full-on rampage. She was wielding a crowbar, taking savage swings at my buddy Connor's F-350, her designer workout clothes and diamond tennis bracelet catching the first light of day as she made another strike. Crash! Another $8,000 worth of damage. And in the middle of it, she pauses, just for a moment, to check her manicure. The sheer audacity. But here's the thing she didn't know. My security cameras were rolling. And Connor, well, Connor wasn't just some veteran she could push around. When she found out what he did for a living, that smile of hers, frozen with Botox, was about to crack just like the windshield she was destroying. What would you do if someone took a crowbar to your buddy's truck? Drop a comment below. Let's see if your HOA has any psychopaths of their own. Now let me back up. I'm Garrett Thornfield, 52 years old, a Purple Heart recipient, and recently divorced. After losing half my assets in the divorce, I ended up here, Saguaro Springs, a suburban wasteland of beige houses, every yard manicured to within an inch of its life. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, just enough to feel like I was living, but not enough to forget what I had lost. I thought I'd found peace in this cookie-cutter neighborhood, but as it turns out, peace here is just an illusion. Each morning, the air smells like creosote and broken dreams, with the scent of fresh asphalt baking under the Arizona sun. Every day starts with the sound of leaf blowers, because in suburbia, even the desert can't be allowed to look natural. There are 847 identical homes, all sporting the same mandatory desert landscaping. Cacti scattered across expensive gravel, like a sneeze across a luxury desert floor. Connor, my Marine buddy from Iraq, comes down once a month. We served 2 tours together, came back with invisible scars, and now we meet for our PTSD support group. Good man, quiet type. He drives in from Phoenix, always brings coffee that doesn't taste like motor oil. His truck, that F-350, is his pride and joy, a pristine white beast with veteran plates, no scratches, nothing out of place. Well, not anymore. Enter Vivian Blackwood, 48 years old, a real estate agent married to a plastic surgeon. It's no wonder she looks like a mannequin. Her face barely moves. She lives in a mansion on the corner of our neighborhood, a mansion that probably costs more than most people make in a lifetime. She has no kids, but runs the neighborhood like a boot camp, where she's the drill sergeant and every homeowner is a recruit. She's been the HOA president for 3 terms, and nobody runs against her. Who would want to volunteer for that kind of misery? I first felt Vivian's oppressive power about 3 months after I moved in. I put up an American flag on my front porch. Nothing fancy, just a simple 3x5. The next day, a bright yellow violation notice appeared under my windshield wiper. Unapproved flag placement. Fine, $300. I called the HOA office, thinking it was a mistake. Wrong. Flags must be mounted on regulation poles at specific angles, they told me. Approved by the Architectural Committee. Who's on this committee? I asked. Just Vivian, they answered. I should have known then. I should have realized the fight was coming. I attended my first HOA meeting, and the air inside the community center smelled like industrial carpet cleaner and crushed souls. 5 board members sat behind a folding table like they were sitting in judgment. I stood up, polite but firm. Purple Heart veteran, just want to display the flag with respect. The vote was 4-1 against me. Vivian's cronies didn't even bother to look up from their phones while they rubber-stamped her decision. Perhaps you should have read the CC&Rs more carefully before purchasing, she said with that sickening, plastic smile. Connor witnessed the whole ordeal. Being the stand-up guy he is, he parked his truck in the designated guest spot and stayed for 4 days to help me file an appeal. That's when Vivian struck again, this time with a commercial vehicle restriction. We got hit with a $500 fine because Connor's truck, his personal vehicle, was apparently violating some HOA rule. It had camping gear in the back, veteran plates, family photos on the dashboard. But apparently, to Vivian, that wasn't good enough. Connor just shook his head. "It's not worth the fight, Garrett. I'll pay it." But that's when I knew I wasn't going to stand for it. Not anymore. This woman was going to learn that some veterans don't back down from bullies. 2 weeks later, Connor came down again for our monthly support group meeting. Things were starting to feel hopeful, like maybe Vivian had gotten her petty fix and would leave us alone. Yeah, right. I should have known better. Connor parked in the same guest spot. We had a good session that night, 6 of us working through our demons. Connor stayed over, planning to drive back to Phoenix the next morning. 5 a.m. rolled around, and then it happened. Glass exploding, the unmistakable sound of destruction outside my window. My buddy's truck was being destroyed by Vivian, and in that moment, my blood boiled. But then, something strange happened. As I stood there, fuming in my boxers, staring at the wreckage of Connor's truck, he appeared beside me. Calm as can be, like he was watching the morning weather report instead of witnessing his truck being torn apart. "You getting this on camera?" he asked quietly. He pulled out his phone and started recording from a different angle. It was like he was waiting for the moment to be captured, waiting for Vivian to finish her masterpiece. Most people would be screaming, calling 911, running outside to stop the carnage. But not Connor. He had ice in his veins, and I trusted him. His instincts had saved us before. Vivian finished her destruction. Windows spiderwebbed like abstract art, tires deflated like punctured egos, and then the piece de resistance. Military trash carved into the tailgate of Connor's truck. The acrid smell of rubber and broken glass filled the air. And then she did something that made my blood run cold. She walked over to the Hendersons' house and handed $20 to their teenage son, Tyler. He pocketed it quickly, as if he was used to it. Vivian pointed at Connor's truck, made some dramatic hand gestures like she was directing a Broadway show, and then disappeared into the darkness. She had just bought herself a witness. Connor didn't flinch. "She just made a mistake," he said, still recording. 20 minutes later, the Phoenix PD arrived, and Vivian was already there, playing her role. "Officers, I was on my morning run when that truck nearly ran me down," she claimed. Tyler stepped forward with a rehearsed line. "Yeah, I saw everything from my bedroom window. The truck was swerving all over the place." The cops looked at Connor, big guy, military tattoos, 1,000-yard stare, like he was the villain. But I wasn't having it. I stepped forward, pulling out my phone. "Officers, before you do anything irreversible, you might want to see this." The security footage I had captured showed Vivian in action, destroying the truck. Crystal clear, 4K footage. Time-stamped at 5:03 a.m., exactly when she claimed to be jogging. The footage spoke for itself. It was a slam dunk. And just like that, Vivian Blackwood's facade crumbled. She was arrested, handcuffed, and carted off. Her perfect world shattered. The sweet smell of justice filled the air. But this wasn't over. The next 60 days would be the most intense of my life. But Vivian would learn, you don't mess with a veteran. She just made a fatal mistake. And that, my friends, is where the story truly begins.